Hello and welcome to the Mindful Living YouTube channel. Today's video is a heat building practice and flow to clarify the mind, sharpen the senses, and awaken the body. So let's get started. Seated, hands can be face up on your knees to receive or hands face down to ground. Take a moment to check in with yourself, ask yourself what it is that you need, what it is that you're bringing to the mat today. Pause for a moment to set an intention for practice. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated, just something that arises. And let's find child's pose together. Knees wide, mats width distance apart. Walk your hands towards the top of the mat, drop your chest towards the ground. Start to lengthen your breath. Breathing in that intention that you've set for yourself today, and as you exhale, letting it wash over you, and as you exhale, walking your hands even just a centimeter or more forward. Take a bend at the elbows, bring your hands into prayer behind the head. And same thing here, take a deep inhale, allowing yourself to fill up with that intention. And as you exhale, intention washes over us and we walk those elbows even just a centimeter more forward. Feeling that length that we're creating from the elbows all the way down to the hips. Lengthen the arms out in front of you, this time coming high onto the fingertips. Noticing the subtle difference that this creates in the body. And we'll lift up into tabletop position, shoulders stack over wrists, hips over knees. Let's begin flowing, sinking your hips down towards your heels. Inhale into cow position, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round the spine and sink the hips down towards the heels. Inhale forward for cow pose. We're flowing through cat and cow. Exhale, round the spine, sink the hips down towards the heels. Inhale forward for cow, open through the heart space. Round the spine, create space in the backside of the body and sink the hips down towards the heels. Inhaling, coming forward for cow. Let's do that 2 more times at the pace of your own breath. Matching our movement with our breath, flowing with our prana, allowing our life force to invigorate us, to restore us. Last time, come forward into tabletop position. From here, tucking the toes, lengthening out into high plank position, adjusting your hands and feet as you need. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, lift your hips for downward facing dog. We'll flow once more, dropping your knees to the mat. For cow pose, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale for cat, tuck your toes and lift your hips for downward facing dog. Pause for a moment and do that again. Drop your knees to the mat for cow pose. Look forward, round through the spine for cat, tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. Pause and repeat, gently waking up the back and the front side of the body really here. Exhale for down dog. Pause for a moment and once more. Moving at the pace of your own breath. Take your time, there's no rush. Exhale for down dog. Now here the shift, we're just tapping our knees to the mat and exhaling for down dog. Tap the knees to the mat, exhale down dog. Knees to the mat, exhale down dog, move with your breath. Pause, once again, tap your knees and lift your hips. Tap your knees, lift your hips, and hold here in down dog. Walking out your dog, taking a bend in one knee and then the other. Really exaggerate the bend here. Again, not feeling the need to rush. There's no rush. Big bend in the knees, pausing in any place that feels like it needs a little extra TLC. Take your time. And inhale high on your toes, bend your knees, step or walk to the top of the mat. Inhale to a flat back, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly roll up to standing, head and neck come up last. Roll your shoulders back, open for Tadasana, palms face forward. Pause here for a moment. Inhale your arms up to the sky, bend at the elbows, prayer behind the head. Open through your chest, small back bend here, reach the elbows towards the back of the room. Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky, and exhale, fold forward. Hands wrap around the ankles. Inhale, flat back. Plant the hands. Step the left foot back for low lunge. Drop the back knee. Keep the hands planted on the ground, making sure that your knee is stacked over your ankle. And rock forwards and backwards a few times, just as we begin to wake up the hip flexors, wake up the legs. Adjust your foot as you need. And sink your weight forward. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Engage the core, tuck the back toes, and lift the back knee for high lunge. And breathe. Bring the hands to the mat. Inhale, right toes to the sky. Circle the ankle around in one direction and switch directions. Reach the toes to the sky and then bring the right foot down to meet the left for downward facing dog. Bring your feet on mats with distance apart. Walk your hands in a couple inches. With the left arm, reach around and grab the opposite leg, looking underneath the armpit. Both a twist and a hamstring stretch. Replace the left hand and switch sides. Right hand comes to the opposite leg, drawing your torso down towards the ground. Bring the hands back to the mat. Walk your feet in, hands back out. Inhale those left toes to the sky. Circle the ankle around and switch directions. And step the foot to the top of the mat for a low lunge. Drop the back knee. Toes can be tucked or untucked. And start to lift and lower here, adjusting your foot as you need. Immerse yourself fully in the movement. Next time you sink weight forward, inhale your arms up towards the sky, palms face one another. Hug the navel to the spine. Activate the core and lift the back knee off the mat for a high lunge position. Allow your energy and your strength to come from the core of your being. Step the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale to a flat back, bring the hands to the shins. And fold forward. Slowly rolling up to standing, head comes up last. Roll the shoulders down the back. Tadasana, palms face forward. Open through the heart space. Reach the crown of the head towards the sky and interlace the hands at the base of the back. Extend the arms, straighten them out. Again, opening through the chest. Take a deep breath into the heart space, full body breath, and start to fold forward on your exhale, lifting the hands towards the sky. If your shoulders are tight, feel free to keep the hands interlaced at the low back. There's options, there's modifications. If your hamstrings are tight, keep a slight bend in the knees. And release the hands down to the ground. Inhale to a flat back. Plant the hands and step the left foot back. Drop the back knee for a low lunge on the right side. Toes are tucked. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. Palms face one another. Lift the back knee off the mat for high lunge. Adjust your foot if you need to. Pause for a moment, find your balance, and interlace your hands at the low back. Extend the arms and open through the heart space. Take a deep breath into the upper body, looking up towards the sky. Release the hands down to the ground. Inhale, right toes to the sky. Take a bend in the knee, open through the hip. If you want a little balance practice, you can lift up onto the fingertips of the right hand. And let's all meet in downward facing dog. Bring the feet hips width distance apart, hands shoulder width distance apart. Drop your chest down to the ground. Inhale high on the toes and drop your heels over to the right side of the mat, taking a bend in the right leg. Feel that side body stretch through the left obliques. Switch sides, drop the heels over to the left side of the mat, take a bend in the left knee. And come back through center. Inhale, right toes up to the sky, take a bend in the knee, open through the hip. Option to come up onto the left fingertips for that balance practice. Release down to the ground and step the foot forward for low lunge. Drop the back knee. Inhale, arms up towards the sky. And lift the back knee off the mat. Take your time, find your balance. Adjust your foot as you need to. Interlace the hands at the low back. Open through the chest. Deep breath. Steady breath. Allow yourself to be fully immersed in the movement and the pose. Release the hands down to the ground, step the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale to a flat back, hands come to the shin, and fold forward. Slowly roll up to standing, head comes up last, open through the chest for Tadasana. Arms sweep up towards the sky, open twist to the right side. Inhale, arms sweep up and open twist to the left side. Square the hips to the front of the room, to the front of the mat. Inhale, arms sweep up, and exhale, folds forward. Wrap the hands around the ankles and interlace the hands at the base of the neck. Give yourself a little massage here. Maybe you rub your neck, rub the upper back, the scalp, gently with the fingertips. Give yourself a little TLC. Remember, this is your practice. Allow it to serve you, to help you move through the world with ease, with grace. Release the hands. Inhale to a flat back. Plant the palms. Step the left foot back. Drop the knee for low lunge. Arms sweep up. You can start to sink into that front leg now that the hip flexors are a little more open. And we'll lift the back knee so we're in high lunge and open twist to the right. Reverse side angle. Reach the left fingertips to the sky. Start to reach towards the back of the room. Full body stretch from toes to fingertips. Bring the top hand to the mat for a twist. Right fingertips to the sky. And breathe. Exhale, open out for warrior two. Take your time. Palms face up. Spin the back heel down. Straighten that front leg for triangle pose. Reach all the way forward and bring your right hand down to the ground. Maybe to a block, maybe to your shin. Modify the poses you need. Everyone's expression will be a little bit different. And turn towards the top of the mat. Find deep lizard lunge. Walk the right toes to the outer edge of the mat. Drop the back knee. Bring your right hand to the knee, coming onto the outer blade edge of the foot, gently guiding the knee out towards the long edge of the mat, opening through the hip flexors, and turn back towards the top of the mat. Option to stay on your hands or to come down onto your forearms. You can always start on your hands, and as your body starts to open, to soften and relax, then you can come down onto your forearms. Most importantly, make sure you can breathe wherever you are. And let's take a quad stretch, bending through the back leg. Reach around with the right arm for the top of the foot. The closer you bring it into your glutes, the more of a quad stretch it is. The more you kick into your hand, the more of a back bend it is. Release the foot, find three-legged dog, take a bend in the top knee, and option for flip dog or wild thing, bringing the top foot down towards the ground, so we're in a back bend here. And everyone's expression will look a little bit different. There's no judgment. And flip back over into downward facing dog. Adjust your hands and feet as needed and lift the left toes to the sky. Take a bend in the knee. Option for flip dog or wild thing here before we go into the flow on the last side. Open through the heart space. And start to flip back over, lifting the left toes to the sky and stepping it to the top of the mat for a low lunge. Drop the back knee. Sink weight into the front leg. Inhale, arms up to the sky, palms face each other. And lift the back knee for high lunge position. Imagine that there's a wall behind that heel and you're pushing into that heel. Open twist to the left, reach from fingertip to fingertip. Reverse side angle, right fingertips to the sky, stretching all the way from fingertip to toes, and bring that top hand down to the mat for a reverse twist, left fingertips to the sky, and lifting up, opening out for warrior two, back heel spins down, palms face up. Pause for a moment, and straighten that front leg, come into triangle position, drop the hand down to the mat, fingertips up towards the sky, making sure not to dump weight into that bottom hand. It's just there for support. It's still an active pose. And let's find deep lizard lunge on the left side. Walk the foot to the long edge of the mat, untuck the back toes, sink your hips down to the ground, and bring your left hand to the knee, gently guiding it towards the long edge of the mat, coming onto the outer blade edge of the foot, sinking the hips down towards the ground. Turn back towards the top of the mat, and the option here to stay on your hands is always there if you'd like to come down onto your forearms, just making sure that you're not compromising the integrity of the pose. So sometimes staying on your hands allows us to keep the integrity of the pose. And let's find that quad stretch. Take a bend through the back leg, choosing if we want it to be more of a back bend or more of a quad stretch, your choice. Release the foot, coming back onto the hands if you're not already there, and stepping back into downward facing dog. Let's pause for a moment here in Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Get ready to do a few spinal undulations now that we're warm. So we roll forward into high plank and push back into down dog. Very fluid motion. Roll forward into high plank, lift the hips for down dog. We're going to do this about 3 more times. Let it be very organic. Doesn't have to look like mine. Let it be natural, fluid to your body. Inhale forward, roll through the spine, and exhale, lift the hips to the sky. Now rolling out into up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Inhaling high on the toes, rolling out, head and neck come up last for up dog. Tuck the chin to the chest, and exhale, lifting the hips to the sky, down dog. Again, inhale high on the toes, rolling forward, head and neck come up last into up dog. Pause for a moment, tuck the chin to the chest and lift the hips high, sink the heels down towards the ground. Again, high on the heels, rolling forward, head and neck come up last, open through the heart space. And tuck the chin to the chest, lift the hips towards the sky, drop the heels down to the mat. Feel free to pause the video and practice this as many times as you'd like. Otherwise, inhaling high on the toes, step walk or jump to the top of the mat. Option to come into a handstand if you jump forward. Pausing for a moment, we'll all meet in Malasana. Feet are mats with distance apart, heels in, toes out, drop the hips down towards the ground. Bring the hands to heart center and imagine that you're elongating from the tailbone all the way to the crown of your head. And we'll sink down onto our glutes and roll into a shoulder stand. Hands come to the low back as we lift the toes to the sky. Walk your elbows as close in towards the body as you can. And plow pose, legs come behind us, down towards the ground. Option to interlace the hands and extend them down towards the ground. Please be mindful here. You know your limits and you know how much you can push yourself. And let's find Deaf Man's pose, bending through the knees, bringing them to cover the ears, wrapping your hands and your arms around your calves. Pause for a moment, again, making sure you're breathing, not constricting the breath in any way, allowing your breath to be your anchor, using it as a tool. Slowly extend the legs and start to roll down. And we'll take a supine twist, spinal twist, right leg stacks on top of left and drop those legs down over to the left side. Right arm comes out to a T, palm face up. The other hand can stack on top of the knees to help guide them down towards the mat, as long as you're keeping both shoulder blades glued to the ground. Coming back through center, unwinding the legs. And left leg stacks on top of the right, drop the knees over to the opposite side of the mat. Extend your left arm out in a T position. Right hand can stack on top of the legs to help guide them down towards the ground. Really focus on releasing through the tummy, through the obliques, allowing the legs to be heavy. And unwind the legs, curl into a ball, bringing the knees in towards the torso, wrap the arms around the shins, rock from side to side, giving yourself a little massage. And let's take a cleansing breath as we open out into Shavasana. Inhale through the nose, deep, and on your exhale, open the mouth wide. Release out into Shavasana, arms and legs extend wide. Take up space on your mat. Taking a moment of appreciation for all that you're capable of, and releasing any control over the breath. Allow the natural flow of prana to return. Allow your body to be so heavy, surrendering the weight of your body to the ground. Allow yourself to be held, to be supported. And last few breaths here in Shavasana. Feel free to pause the video and stay as long as you'd like. Otherwise, let's meet in a seated position with our hands at heart center, taking a moment of deep gratitude, deep appreciation, deep intention to carry the mindfulness we curated and practice with us throughout our day, throughout each and every moment of life. Take a deep breath into that intention. Allow the air to rise into the heart space. Exhale, allow the air to settle in the belly. And bringing the thumbs to the third eye center. In honor of the practice and in honor of one another, we bow. Namaste. Sending you love and a big hug wherever you are. Like this video if you enjoyed, and leave your questions and comments down below.